This video was made thanks to this awesome request. Thank you for the title suggestion, and happy watching.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Quirks. If you're a fan of My Hero Academia, especially awesome fanfiction stories all about Deku, you're definitely in the right place. Before we dive into today's story, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow anime fans, and subscribe so you never miss a new upload. Also, if you have an awesome idea or title for the next fanfiction video, drop it in the comment below. I'd love to read your suggestions. And hey, if you want to support the channel even more and keep me extra motivated to create awesome content, consider joining our channel membership. By becoming a member, you'll unlock cool perks like exclusive loyalty badges and custom stickers you can use in the comments. If you've already joined, thank you so much. Your support truly means the world to me and helps keep this channel going. Alright, let's get right into the story.
Musudafu City had become a society where nearly everyone possessed a quirk. Fire, ice, explosions, super strength. Those abilities appeared every day. Yet among millions of quirks, one existed unlike any other. Inside a quiet apartment, a 4-year-old boy sat on the floor surrounded by toy bears, rabbits, chickens, and foxes. Izuku Midoriya smiled while arranging them into a small stage. Inko watched from the kitchen. They're performing again. Izuku nodded happily. Freddy says Bonnie played the wrong song. Inko blinked. Freddy, who? Before Izuku could answer, the lights flickered. Flick. Flick. The room suddenly became colder. Tiny green particles drifted through the air. They gathered behind the toys. Whoom. 4 translucent figures slowly emerged. A brown bear wearing a black hat. A purple rabbit holding a guitar. A yellow chicken carrying a cupcake. A red pirate fox with a sharp metal hook. They weren't solid. They were ghostly, formed entirely from glowing emerald energy. Inko froze. Izuku, what are those? The little boy smiled. My friends. The 4 ghostly animatronics bowed politely toward Inko. Then, they slowly disappeared into sparkling green light. A week later, doctors completed Izuku's quirk examination. Multiple machines surrounded the child. Specialists carefully observed every result. One doctor frowned. His body isn't producing ordinary quirk energy. Another adjusted several monitors. There's another unknown energy source. Green waves pulsed across every scanner. It's alive. The final diagnosis appeared. Quirk. Fazbear's Remnant. Ability. The user generates mysterious soul-based energy called Remnant, allowing the manifestation of spectral animatronic entities that possess independent combat instincts while remaining completely loyal to the user. The doctors exchanged confused looks. We've never seen anything like this. Years passed. Izuku grew older. While other children trained flashy quirks, he quietly learned to understand the strange companions living inside his remnant. Every spirit possessed a unique personality. Freddy acted like a calm leader. He always stood behind Izuku with folded arms. Watching. Protecting. Bonnie constantly practiced imaginary guitar solos. He encouraged Izuku whenever training became difficult. Chica worried whenever Izuku skipped meals. She often carried her glowing cupcake beside him. Foxy never stayed still. He preferred running through forests and rooftops with incredible speed. He always challenged Izuku to races. Although nobody else could normally see them, Izuku spoke with them every single day. They became his closest friends. One afternoon, Izuku trained inside a quiet forest. He raised one hand. Freddy. Green remnant energy gathered around him. Whoom. A glowing mechanical circle appeared beneath his feet. Crack. Freddy slowly rose from the emerald light. His massive ghostly body stood over 2 meters tall. His blue eyes glowed softly. Good afternoon. Freddy's deep mechanical voice echoed gently. Izuku smiled. Let's practice. Bonnie appeared next. Then Chica. Finally, Foxy landed on a nearby tree branch. Ready. Foxy grinned. Always. Izuku focused carefully. A strange translucent panel suddenly appeared before him. Its emerald interface resembled an advanced holographic system. Fazbear Summon System. User. Izuku Midoriya. Quirk. Fazbear's Remnant. Available summons. Checkmark Freddy Fazbear. Checkmark Bonnie. Checkmark Chica. Checkmark Foxy. Locked. Multiply Golden Freddy. Multiply Springtrap. Multiply Shadow Bonnie. Multiply Nightmare Series. Multiply Glamrock Series. Remnant Energy. 100%. Endoskeleton Mode. Locked. Jumpscare Output. 3%. Izuku stared at the floating system. It changed again. Freddy nodded. Your power grows with experience. Foxy suddenly jumped from the tree. Race you. Whoosh. He dashed through the forest like a crimson blur. Izuku laughed. Wait. He sprinted after him. Bonnie followed while laughing. Chica chased them with her glowing cupcake. Freddy calmly walked behind the group. High above the forest, a small surveillance drone quietly observed everything. Its camera zoomed toward Izuku. Click, click. Inside the drone, every summoned animatronic was recorded. Moments later, the machine silently flew away. Far across the city, inside an unknown office, a mysterious figure watched the live footage. The screen displayed Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and the smiling green-haired boy standing among them. The figure leaned forward. Interesting. Those aren't ordinary constructs. Another monitor displayed the Quirk registration file. Fazbear's Remnant. The unknown observer smiled faintly. Keep watching him. That child possesses something this world has never seen before. Outside, lightning flashed across the evening sky. Crack. Far below, Izuku continued laughing together with the ghostly animatronics, completely unaware that his extraordinary quirk had already begun attracting attention from forces hidden within the shadows. Months passed after Izuku's quirk officially awakened. His control over remnant energy steadily improved. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. They no longer appeared by accident. Every summon answered his call instantly. One afternoon, Izuku walked home after another disappointing visit to a hero agency. The receptionist had smiled politely. Your quirk is unusual. Perhaps support work would suit you better. Izuku simply thanked her before leaving. He had heard similar words many times. He quietly walked through Musudafu. His backpack rested on one shoulder. The Emerald System panel briefly appeared. Fazbear Summon System. Active summons. None. Remnant Energy. 100%. Threat Detection. Normal. Izuku dismissed it with a wave. Nothing unusual today. Far ahead, a loud explosion echoed through the streets. Boom. People immediately screamed. Villain. Run. Thick green sludge burst from a narrow alley. Cars overturned. Streetlights bent. Windows shattered. The sludge villain laughed wildly. Give me a better body. Heroes quickly surrounded the area. Death Arms charged first. Boom. His punch passed harmlessly through the liquid body. Kamui Woods restrained the villain with wooden branches. Crack. The sludge dissolved between every gap. Mount Lady attempted to crush him. Boom. The monster simply reformed again. Izuku watched from behind the crowd. They can't hold him. Suddenly, the villain surged toward another street. Whoosh. A familiar voice shouted. Get away. Katsuki Bakugo. The sludge completely engulfed him. His arms became trapped. His explosions weakened beneath the suffocating liquid. Damn it. Bakugo struggled desperately. Heroes hesitated. Every rescue attempt failed. The crowd watched helplessly. Izuku's fists slowly tightened. He took one step forward. Another. Then another. His Emerald System panel suddenly flashed. Warning. Civilian life in critical danger. Recommended summon. Foxy. Remnant energy available. 100%. Izuku took a deep breath. Foxy. Green remnant energy exploded outward. Whoom. Electric emerald particles covered the street. The temperature suddenly dropped. Streetlights flickered violently. Flick. Flick. A massive glowing pirate wheel slowly materialized behind Izuku. Chains rattled. Clanked. Clanked. Then, a sharp mechanical hook pierced through the green mist. Crack. Two glowing yellow eyes opened. Foxy slowly emerged from the remnant. His ghostly crimson body towered over everyone. His hook gleamed beneath the afternoon sun. His sharp metallic claws scraped across the asphalt. Skirt. The crowd gasped. What is that? Death Arms stepped backward. Another villain. Foxy ignored everyone. His glowing eyes locked onto the sludge villain. Target identified. The pirate animatronic crouched. Then, vanished. Whoosh. Even pro heroes lost sight of him. The sludge villain barely reacted. What? Slash. Foxy's hook sliced through the monster's liquid body. Green remnant electricity erupted from the wound. Crack. The sludge suddenly convulsed violently. What is happening? Ordinary physical attacks couldn't damage the sludge. Remnant energy could. It disrupted the unstable spiritual structure hidden inside the villain. Foxy disappeared again. Whoosh. Slash. Another claw strike. Boom. The sludge split apart. Bakugo fell free. Cough. He rolled across the pavement. Finally able to breathe. Deku. He looked upward in disbelief. What the hell? The sludge villain desperately attempted to reform. Foxy refused to give him the chance. Whoosh. Slash. 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 His mechanical claws moved faster than human eyes could follow. Emerald lightning exploded with every strike. Boom. Crack. The villain's body rapidly shrank. Pieces of sludge scattered across the road. They failed to reconnect. All Might finally arrived. Boom. He landed between the heroes. Sorry I'm late. He immediately froze. The battle had already changed. Foxy stood protectively before Izuku. The pirate slowly raised his hook. Permission. Izuku nodded once. Finish it. Foxy's eyes glowed brilliantly. Whoom. Green remnant energy concentrated around both claws. Pirate rush. Whoosh. His entire body became a crimson blur. Dozens of slashes erupted simultaneously. Slash. 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 Boom. The sludge villain exploded into countless harmless fragments. The remaining remnant electricity completely neutralized his body. Moments later, heroes quickly captured every scattered piece inside reinforced containers. Silence filled the street. All Might stared at the green-haired teenager. Then toward the towering pirate animatronic. Young man, did you summon that? Izuku scratched his head awkwardly. Yes. Foxy calmly returned beside him. His hook rested across one shoulder. Mission complete. The Emerald System panel appeared once more. Battle complete. Summon used. Foxy. Battle result. Victory. Civilian rescued. 1. New synchronization. Foxy 18%. New feature unlocked. Animatronic command. Before the panel disappeared, another locked icon briefly flickered. Its silhouette resembled a golden bear. Golden Freddy. Unlock requirement. Unknown. The icon vanished. Izuku quietly stared at the empty space. He had no idea what that meant. Far away, inside a hidden laboratory, the same mysterious observer watched the recorded battle once more. He slowly smiled. Excellent. His synchronization is increasing much faster than expected. He enlarged the image of the locked golden silhouette. Soon, the stronger ones will begin answering his call. The battle against the sludge villain quickly spread across Japan. News channels repeatedly replayed the footage. A green-haired middle school student. A ghostly pirate animatronic. A villain defeated before All Might intervened. The public couldn't stop talking about it. Inside the Midoriya apartment, Izuku quietly watched the television. They're showing it again. Inko smiled nervously. Everyone is calling you a hero. Izuku rubbed the back of his head. I just wanted to save Kachan. That evening, after finishing dinner, Izuku grabbed his backpack. I'm going out to train. Inko nodded. Don't stay out too late. Be careful. The familiar training forest welcomed him with silence. Crickets chirped softly. The moon hung high above the trees. Cold air drifted between the branches. Izuku stood inside the clearing. Everyone. Green remnant energy slowly expanded around him. Womb. 4 summoning circles appeared. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. Each stepped forward from glowing emerald mist. Freddy crossed his arms. Good evening. Bonnie rested his guitar on one shoulder. Training time. Chica happily held up her cupcake. Don't forget to eat later. Foxy twirled his hook. Let's fight. Izuku smiled. Actually, I want to practice something different tonight. His emerald system panel appeared. Fazbear summon system. Active summons. Check mark Freddy. Check mark Bonnie. Check mark Chica. Check mark Foxy. Synchronization. Freddy 14%. Bonnie 13%. Chica 12%. Foxy 18%. New ability available. Jumpscare. Status. Locked for combat testing. Izuku read the description. Jumpscare. Freddy nodded. Every animatronic possesses fear energy. Until now, you've only used our physical strength. Bonnie continued. Remnant isn't only metal, it's memory, emotion, fear. Foxy grinned. Time to scare something. Izuku looked around. There's nobody here. Freddy slowly pointed toward the opposite side of the forest. Not exactly. Several wolves emerged from the darkness. Their glowing eyes reflected beneath the moonlight. Growl. They cautiously approached. Izuku immediately became alert. Wild animals. Foxy stepped forward. Don't attack. Waddick. The pirate animatronic lowered his body. His glowing eyes slowly shifted from yellow to crimson. The surrounding air became noticeably colder. Mist drifted across the ground. The emerald system panel flashed. Jumpscare. Status. Activating. Fear frequency. 1%. Foxy slowly lifted his head. Then, his jaw opened unnaturally wide. Creak. His mechanical face split apart. Rows of razor-sharp metallic teeth gleamed beneath the moonlight. His glowing crimson eyes suddenly flashed brightly. Flash. Roar. An invisible wave exploded across the clearing. Whoom. The wolves instantly froze. Every muscle in their bodies locked. Their pupils shrank. They couldn't move. They couldn't even growl. Seconds later, they turned around simultaneously and fled. Whoosh. Within moments, they completely disappeared into the forest. Izuku stared silently. They ran away. Freddy nodded. Fear overpowered instinct. The system updated. Fear frequency. 4%. Mental paralysis. Successful. Izuku slowly smiled. So Jumpscare isn't just frightening. Bonnie nodded. It's psychological interference. Chica continued. The stronger your remnant becomes, the stronger the fear becomes. Foxy laughed proudly. Villains don't like surprises. Izuku looked toward another section of the forest. Again. This time, Bonnie stepped forward. He slowly played several haunting guitar notes. Plunk, plink, hum. Dark echoes spread between the trees. The shadows themselves began moving. Multiple purple rabbit silhouettes appeared among the branches. They watched silently, motionless. Izuku blinked. There are dozens of you. Bonnie smiled. Illusion support. The system immediately identified the phenomenon. Phantom projection. Activated. Fear frequency. 6%. Suddenly, the shadows all turned toward one direction. Their glowing white eyes opened simultaneously. Flash. Roar. Another invisible shockwave swept through the forest. Birds immediately burst into the sky. Whoosh. Deer fled through nearby bushes. Boom. Even the insects suddenly became silent. Izuku slowly looked around. Everything stopped. Freddy calmly explained. Jumpscare affects nervous systems. Strong minds resist it. Weak minds collapse. Izuku quietly nodded. Then I need to control it. I don't want innocent people getting caught. Freddy smiled. Good answer. Hours passed. The training continued. Each animatronic demonstrated a different version of Jumpscare. Freddy projected overwhelming pressure. Bonnie created phantom illusions. Chica generated disturbing hallucinations through distorted laughter. Foxy unleashed explosive fear waves through sudden movement. Near midnight, Izuku finally collapsed onto the grass. I'm exhausted. The system appeared once again. Training completed. Fear frequency, 15%. Jumpscare mastery, 18%. New feature unlocked. Mental targeting. Before the panel disappeared, another notification appeared. Synchronization requirement reached. Hidden entity responding. The forest lights suddenly flickered. Flick, flick. Every animatronic immediately stopped moving. Freddy slowly looked behind Izuku. He's here. Bonnie lowered his guitar. Don't move. Foxy silently stepped backward. For the first time, the fearless pirate looked nervous. Izuku slowly turned around. Behind him sat an old golden bear. Motionless. Head lowered. One glowing eye suddenly opened. Flash. The air became unbearably heavy. The emerald system displayed a single line. Golden Freddy has noticed the user. Then, the golden figure vanished without making a sound, leaving only silence beneath the moonlit forest. The day of the UA entrance exam finally arrived. Thousands of applicants gathered before the enormous school gates. Some stretched their muscles. Others reviewed hero notes. Many quietly observed their future rivals. Izuku stood near the entrance carrying a small green backpack. His emerald system panel briefly appeared. Fazbear summon system. Available summons. Check mark Freddy Fazbear. Check mark Bonnie. Check mark Chica. Check mark Foxy. Locked. Multiply Golden Freddy. Multiply Springtrap. Multiply Nightmare series. Multiply Glamrock series. Remnant energy. 100%. The panel disappeared. Izuku smiled. Let's do our best. A familiar voice interrupted him. Wadok, where you're going? Bump. Izuku accidentally collided with another applicant. The boy had dark blue hair and glasses. Tenya Iida. My apologies. Izuku bowed politely. Iida adjusted his glasses. Please pay more attention. He quickly walked away. Another girl nearby giggled softly. He really takes everything seriously. Izuku turned. A brown-haired girl smiled warmly. Ochako Uraraka. Good luck. Izuku smiled back. You too. Moments later, Present Mike's energetic voice echoed throughout the arena. Welcome, future heroes. The crowd cheered. Your objective is simple. Destroy as many robots as possible. Ready, go. The massive gates opened. Boom. Hundreds of students rushed inside. Izuku calmly entered the city simulation. Broken streets. Abandoned buildings. Countless combat robots patrolled every block. Clang, clang, clang. 3 one-point robots immediately noticed him. Their red sensors glowed. Target acquired. They charged. Boom. Izuku quietly raised one hand. Freddy. Woom. Green remnant energy erupted across the street. A glowing summoning circle expanded beneath him. Freddy slowly emerged. His enormous ghostly body towered above the robots. The nearest robot attacked. Its metal fist descended. Boom. Freddy casually caught it. Clench. Too slow. Crunch. The robot's arm shattered instantly. Freddy swung once. Boom. The machine flew through 2 nearby buildings. Score. 1 point. 2 more robots advanced. Bonnie. Another summoning circle appeared. Woom. Bonnie stepped forward while holding his glowing guitar. He struck one powerful chord. Brang. A concentrated sonic shockwave blasted forward. Boom. Both robots exploded into dozens of metal fragments. Score: 3 points. Students nearby stared in disbelief. He summoned another one. Those aren't support items. Izuku continued running through the city. More robots surrounded him. 5, 10, 20. Chica. Womb. Chica appeared beside him. She happily tossed her glowing cupcake. The tiny cupcake floated through the air. Then, boom, a remnant explosion destroyed an entire group of robots. Metal debris scattered across the street. Score rapidly increased. Another swarm appeared from behind. Foxy. Womb. Foxy immediately sprinted forward. Whoosh. His crimson body became impossible to follow. Slash. 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 Mechanical claws sliced through every robot. Heads rolled across the pavement. Arms flew into the air. Explosions echoed across the district. Boom. 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 Inside the observation room, teachers quietly watched dozens of monitors. Smintos folded his arms. He's controlling 4 summons simultaneously. Midnight nodded. And each one fights independently. Recovery Girl adjusted her glasses. His stamina hasn't decreased. Principal Nezu smiled while drinking tea. Remarkable. Outside, Izuku's score continued climbing. 1-point robots. 2-point robots. 3-point robots. None survived. Suddenly, warning sirens echoed. Beep. Present Mike's voice filled the city. Here comes the 0-pointer. The gigantic machine slowly emerged above the buildings. Its enormous footsteps shook the ground. Boom. 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 Students immediately fled. Run. It's worth 0 points. Ochako tripped beneath a collapsed section of concrete. Ah. Her leg became trapped. She struggled desperately. The 0-pointer continued approaching. Boom. 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 Izuku immediately changed direction. Uraraka. Freddy blocked the machine's advance. Boom. The giant robot pushed him backward. Its sheer weight was overwhelming. Bonnie fired repeated sonic blasts. Boom. They barely slowed the massive machine. Foxy leapt onto its shoulders. Slash. Sparks flew. The armor remained intact. Chica launched several remnant explosions. Boom. Only shallow dents appeared. The emerald system suddenly flashed. Multiple summons detected. Combination protocol available. Show stage formation. Ready. Izuku looked upward. Everyone. Together. Freddy nodded. Bonnie smiled. Chica raised her cupcake. Foxy spun his hook. The 4 animatronics simultaneously released enormous remnant energy. Womb. Their emerald auras connected. Glowing chains of light linked every summon together. The entire battlefield shook. Students stopped running. Teachers stared silently through their monitors. Freddy charged first. Boom. He grabbed the 0-pointer's left leg. Bonnie leapt upward. His guitar glowed brilliantly. Brong. A concentrated sonic blast struck the robot's chest. Crack. Its armor fractured. Foxy sprinted straight up the giant machine. Whoosh. His claws carved deep trenches across the exposed opening. Slash. Finally, Chica tossed her glowing cupcake directly into the damaged core. Surprise. The tiny cupcake landed perfectly. 1 second passed. Boom. A massive emerald explosion erupted from inside the 0-pointer. The giant machine froze. Cracks spread across its entire body. Crack. 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 Its enormous frame slowly leaned backward. Then, collapsed. Boom. The impact echoed across the entire examination city. Dust rose into the sky. Silence. Ochako looked toward Izuku with wide eyes. He destroyed it. Inside the observation room, every teacher remained speechless. Principal Nezu quietly smiled. I believe. He looked at Izuku's score climbing rapidly across the monitor. UA has just welcomed one of its most unusual applicants. Far beneath the ruined 0-pointer, the emerald system displayed another notification. Show stage formation completed. Synchronization increased. Hidden summon resonance. 31%. Entity responding. Golden Freddy synchronization beginning. The UA entrance exam ended. Days passed. Every applicant anxiously waited for the results. Inside the Midoriya apartment, Izuku nervously stared at the mailbox. Maybe today. Before he could open it, a tiny package floated through the window. Whoosh! It landed gently on the table. What? Izuku carefully picked it up. The box opened by itself. Inside rested a miniature Freddy plush made of emerald remnant. Its eyes glowed briefly. Flash. Congratulations. Principal Nezu's recorded voice echoed from inside. You have been accepted into UA High School. The tiny plush projected a holographic screen. Accepted applicant. Izuku Midoriya. Rescue points. 60. Villain points. 143. Total score. 203. Status. Admitted. Izuku blinked. I made it. Inko immediately hugged him. You did it. Tears rolled down her face. I knew you could. Izuku smiled while hugging her back. Thanks, Mom. 1 week later, the first day at UA finally arrived. Students gathered inside classroom 1A. Everyone quietly introduced themselves. Ochako waved happily. We're classmates again. Izuku smiled. Looks like it. Bakugo entered moments later. He noticed Izuku. Don't think beating one robot makes you special. Izuku simply smiled. Good morning, Kachan. Bakugo clicked his tongue. Before anyone else spoke, the classroom door slid open. Shota Aizawa slowly walked inside wrapped inside his yellow capture weapon. You're loud. He dropped a sleeping bag onto the floor. Put these on. Physical assessment. Minutes later, Class 1A stood outside wearing training uniforms. Aizawa calmly explained the rules. There are no entrance ceremonies. Heroes don't have time for celebrations. He looked around. Today I'll evaluate your quirks. Students immediately became serious. One event followed another. 50-meter sprint. Grip strength. Long jump. Ball throw. Izuku used Freddy for strength tests. Bonnie amplified his movement timing. Foxy boosted sprint speed. Chica assisted with balance. His results remained consistently near the top. Finally, the baseball throw. Aizawa tossed the ball toward Izuku. Show me everything. Izuku caught it. All right. He quietly activated remnant energy. Green particles surrounded his arm. Whoom. Before he could summon, Aizawa's eyes suddenly glowed crimson. His scarf floated behind him. Erasure. The teacher stared directly at Izuku. Your quirk is erased. Everyone watched silently. Izuku blinked. Huh. He looked at his hands. The emerald aura disappeared. It worked. Aizawa folded his arms. Throw. Izuku nodded. He threw the baseball normally. Whoosh. It landed only several dozen meters away. Disappointing. Aizawa continued observing him. So your summons require quirk activation. Then, something unexpected happened. The surrounding air suddenly became freezing cold. Flick. Flick. The stadium lights dimmed. A strange static noise echoed through the training field. ZZZZZZT. Students looked around nervously. What's happening? Izuku frowned. I'm not doing this. The emerald system suddenly appeared by itself. Its interface flickered violently. Warning. External remnant response detected. Unknown entity manifesting. Aizawa narrowed his eyes. Impossible. I'm still erasing his quirk. The ground beneath Izuku slowly cracked. Crack. Crack. Green mist spread across the field. Every electronic scoreboard began malfunctioning. ZZZT. ZZZT. Then, a golden chair appeared behind Izuku. Old, worn, motionless. Sitting upon it was a ghostly golden bear. Golden Freddy. He never moved. He never blinked. One glowing eye silently stared directly at Aizawa. The teacher instinctively took one step backward. What? His erasure remained active. Yet, Golden Freddy continued existing. The air grew heavier. Students suddenly felt dizzy. Their vision blurred. The training field slowly changed. Classroom walls appeared where none existed. Old security cameras materialized overhead. Broken office doors creaked open. Flickering lights filled every direction. An illusion. Iida adjusted his glasses. I can't tell what's real. Mina pointed toward the bleachers. There, dozens of ghostly animatronics silently watched from every seat. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, all motionless, all staring. Rawr. The distant mechanical growl echoed softly. Aizawa immediately attempted increasing erasure output. His eyes burned intensely. Disappear. Golden Freddy slowly tilted his head. Creak. Without warning, he vanished. Where? Aizawa suddenly felt cold breath behind him. He turned. Golden Freddy stood less than 1 meter away. Completely silent. Motionless. His glowing eye stared directly into Aizawa's face. Flash. A powerful wave of remnant energy burst outward. Whoom. Aizawa's concentration instantly broke. He stumbled backward. His erasure deactivated. The illusion immediately disappeared. Sunlight returned. The stadium looked normal again. Every ghostly figure vanished. Only Izuku remained standing in the center of the field. Complete silence filled Class 1A. Kaminari slowly raised one shaking finger. Did anyone else see that? Kirishima swallowed. Yeah, I definitely saw it. Aizawa slowly adjusted his goggles. For the first time in years, his calm expression cracked. He looked directly at Izuku. Your quirk. He paused. It's connected to something beyond simple biological activation. Izuku looked equally confused. I didn't summon him. The Emerald system quietly updated. New entity acknowledged. Golden Freddy. Status. Independent Remnant. Synchronization. 1%. Note. Cannot be completely suppressed by erasure. Far away. Inside a hidden underground laboratory. The mysterious observer smiled while reviewing the recorded footage. He enlarged the image of Golden Freddy standing behind Aizawa. Excellent. The first independent remnant has awakened. Another file slowly appeared beside it. Its name contained only one word. Springtrap. Status. Awaiting activation. A few days after Aizawa's physical assessment, Class 1A gathered inside Ground Beta. The massive training facility resembled a small city. Concrete buildings stretched across the area. Dark corridors, narrow stairways, countless blind corners. It was the perfect battlefield. All Might stood proudly before the class. Today, you will participate in your first hero versus villain exercise. The students cheered. All Might explained the rules. One team will play the villains. The other will become heroes. Your objective is to secure the mock nuclear weapon. Students randomly drew lots. After several minutes, the teams were decided. Heroes. Izuku Midoriya. Ochako Uraraka. Villains. Katsuki Bakugo. Tenya Iida. Bakugo smiled the moment he saw the result. Finally, he looked directly at Izuku. This time, I'll crush you. Inside the control room, teachers observed dozens of monitors. Aizawa quietly folded his arms. Let's see how he handles close combat. The exercise began. Beep. Bakugo immediately charged into the building. Boom. Explosions echoed through every hallway. Smoke filled the corridors. Iida hurried toward the upper floor to guard the mock bomb. Outside, Ochako looked toward Izuku. What's the plan? Izuku quietly examined the building. His emerald system appeared. Fazbear summon system. Environment analysis. Low light. Multiple blind corners. Limited visibility. Recommended protocol. Phantom operation. Izuku smiled slightly. Perfect. Both heroes entered the building. The interior was almost completely dark. Only emergency lights illuminated the hallways. Flick. Flick. Bakugo laughed somewhere inside. Come out. Deku. Boom. Another explosion shook the building. Dust fell from the ceiling. Ochako whispered, "He's trying to force us into a fight." Izuku shook his head. "We won't." He quietly raised one hand. Bonnie. Womb. Green remnant energy spread through the hallway. Bonnie slowly appeared beside him. Phantom Protocol. Bonnie nodded. He gently played one haunting note. Plunk. Dark emerald shadows spread across the building. They crawled along walls, ceilings, floors. The system updated. Phantom animatronics. Deploying. Throughout the building, multiple ghostly figures appeared. Phantom Freddy silently stood at distant intersections. Phantom Chica watched through broken windows. Phantom Foxy darted across hallways. Phantom Bonnie stared from dark staircases. None were real. Every one was an illusion. Bakugo stopped running. What? He looked down one hallway. Phantom Freddy stood motionless. Cheap trick. Bakugo blasted forward. Boom. The illusion disappeared before impact. Another hallway. Phantom Chica. Bakugo growled. Stop hiding. Boom. He destroyed another empty corridor. Inside the control room, Smintos raised an eyebrow. He's wasting stamina. Aizawa quietly nodded. That's exactly what Midoriya wants. Back inside the building, Bakugo's breathing slowly became heavier. He continued seeing movement everywhere. Left hallway. Phantom Foxy. Right hallway. Phantom Bonnie. Behind him. Phantom Freddy. Where are you? Boom. Another explosion echoed. Izuku calmly watched everything through his system. CCTV mode. Phantom visual links. Online. Enemy tracking. Confirmed. Every phantom acted like a security camera. Their vision immediately appeared inside Izuku's mind. He could see every hallway simultaneously. Every staircase. Every room. Every movement Bakugo made. Ochako blinked. You're not even looking around. Izuku smiled. I already know where everyone is. Bakugo continued chasing illusion after illusion. His frustration steadily increased. Coward. Boom. Suddenly, every hallway became silent. Bakugo frowned. Where did they go? The lights flickered. Flick. 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 The emerald system flashed. Jumpscare opportunity. Optimal. Izuku quietly whispered. Now, all phantom animatronics vanished. For 1 second, the hallway remained completely empty. Then, flash. Phantom Freddy suddenly appeared directly in front of Bakugo's face. His jaw opened unnaturally wide. His glowing eyes burned crimson. Roar. An invisible remnant shockwave exploded. Whoom. Bakugo's entire body froze. His muscles refused to move. His heartbeat skipped. His vision blurred. GH. Before he recovered, Phantom Foxy appeared behind him. Roar. Another fear pulse erupted. Phantom Chica. Roar. Phantom Bonnie. Roar. The illusions surrounded him from every direction. None attacked physically. They simply appeared and disappeared without warning. Bakugo instinctively fired explosions. Boom. 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 Every blast struck empty air. Inside the control room, Midnight stared at the monitors. His heart rate just spiked. Recovery Girl looked at the medical display. Temporary nervous system overload. Aizawa remained calm. Psychological warfare. Bakugo finally roared. Show yourself. Right here. Bakugo immediately turned. Izuku stood calmly behind him. Before Bakugo reacted, Foxy materialized. Whoom. His hook gently caught Bakugo's grenade gauntlet. Clench. Freddy appeared beside him. He calmly restrained Bakugo's other arm. Bonnie quietly blocked the escape route. Chica stood protectively beside Ochako. Bakugo struggled violently. Let me go. Izuku looked at him. You spent the entire match fighting shadows. While we reached the objective, the loudspeaker activated. All Might's excited voice echoed throughout the building. Heroes win. The restraints disappeared. Freddy and the others dissolved into emerald particles. Bakugo stood silently. His breathing slowly returned to normal. For the first time, he realized he had never actually fought Izuku. He had spent the entire exercise battling fear. Inside the control room, All Might smiled proudly. Excellent strategy. Aizawa quietly looked toward Izuku. He's becoming dangerous. As everyone left the training building, the Emerald system quietly updated. Battle complete. Phantom Mastery. 28%. CCTV mode. Upgraded. New feature unlocked. Endoskeleton armor. Status. Locked. Unlock requirement. 45% total synchronization. Far beneath the system notification, another hidden icon briefly flickered. A decayed green rabbit. Its glowing eyes opened for only an instant. Springtrap synchronization. 3%. Several days passed after the battle trial. Class 1A gradually adapted to life inside UA. Combat lessons. Rescue training. Academic classes. Every student continued improving. However, Aizawa noticed something unusual. Izuku never looked surprised during combat exercises. He always reacted before his opponents moved, even against unexpected attacks. Inside the teacher's lounge, All Might looked at several training reports. Young Midoriya predicted 94% of incoming attacks. Aizawa nodded. That's too high to be coincidence. Principal Nezu smiled over a cup of tea. Perhaps we should test him. Later that afternoon, Class 1A gathered inside another training facility. The room resembled a massive warehouse. Shipping containers, metal catwalks, dark corners, multiple floors. Perfect for urban combat. Aizawa stepped forward. Today's exercise. He pointed toward the enormous structure. Find me. Students blinked. That's all. Mina tilted her head. Aizawa nodded. I'll hide. All 20 of you will search. Time limit. 30 minutes. Before anyone could ask another question, he vanished. Whoosh. Kaminari looked around. Where'd he go? The countdown immediately started. Beep. Students rushed inside. Groups quickly formed. Todoroki searched the upper floors. Bakugo blasted through several corridors. Hiroshima checked every container. Ochako searched alongside Tsuyu. Izuku quietly remained near the entrance. He didn't move. Iida frowned. Midoriya, aren't you searching? Izuku slowly closed his eyes. I already am. The Emerald system appeared. Fazbear summon system. Security protocol. Available. Activate CCTV network. Yes, no. Yes. Womb. Green remnant energy spread silently throughout the warehouse. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. The four animatronics appeared without making a sound. Instead of standing beside Izuku, they immediately separated. Freddy calmly walked toward the second floor. Bonnie disappeared into the ventilation system. Chica entered the storage rooms. Foxy sprinted across rooftops faster than anyone could follow. Whoosh. Students barely noticed them. The system expanded dramatically. CCTV security network. Camera 01. Freddy. Online. Camera 02. Bonnie. Online. Camera 03. Chica. Online. Camera 04. Foxy. Online. Multiple green windows appeared before Izuku. Every summon shared its vision simultaneously. Hallways. Staircases. Rooms. Rooftops. Everything became visible. Izuku quietly watched dozens of viewpoints at once. There. Camera 02 briefly captured movement. A yellow scarf disappeared behind a ventilation shaft. Camera 04 immediately switched angles. Foxy spotted fresh footprints across dusty steel beams. Camera 01 detected faint breathing inside a maintenance room. The system processed everything. Enemy probability. 94%. Location predicted. Izuku smiled. Found you. Instead of running directly there, he quietly changed direction. Inside a hidden maintenance room, Aizawa silently watched through a narrow opening. He hasn't searched this floor. He remained perfectly still. Seconds later, he suddenly frowned. Wait. Footsteps never approached. Instead, a soft mechanical voice echoed through the ventilation system. Camera acquired. Bonnie's glowing eyes quietly appeared behind a metal grate. Aizawa immediately moved. Whoosh. He left the room. At the same moment, Foxy appeared outside the opposite exit. Escape route blocked. Aizawa instantly changed direction again. Freddy quietly stepped onto the staircase below. Second route blocked. The teacher looked upward. Chica calmly stood on the catwalk above him. Third route blocked. For several seconds, complete silence filled the warehouse. Then, Izuku slowly walked around the corner. His hands remained inside his pockets. Good afternoon, Sensei. Aizawa looked around once. Every escape path had already been covered. How? Izuku pointed toward the floating system panel visible only to him. Security. Aizawa understood immediately. Your summons aren't only fighters. Izuku nodded. They're also observers. Inside the control room, Principal Nezu quietly laughed. Remarkable. All Might smiled proudly. Young Midoriya turned his summons into an entire surveillance system. Smintos crossed his arms. He surrounded Aizawa without directly chasing him. Back inside the warehouse, Aizawa suddenly threw 3 capture scarves. Whoosh. Before they reached Izuku, Foxy intercepted one. Slash. Freddy caught another. Clench. Bonnie redirected the third using his guitar. Clang. Izuku never moved. Prediction confirmed. The system updated instantly. Enemy reaction analyzed. Combat prediction. 98%. Aizawa lowered his scarf. Exercise complete. The loudspeaker activated. Winner. Izuku Midoriya. The remaining students slowly gathered. Most looked exhausted. Mina stared at Izuku. You found him already. Bakugo clicked his tongue. Of course he did. Todoroki quietly looked toward the 4 animatronics. They're becoming less like summons, and more like an organized tactical squad. Aizawa nodded once. Exactly. He looked directly at Izuku. A security guard doesn't wait for danger. He watches, predicts, and controls the battlefield before the enemy realizes they're trapped. That evening, inside his bedroom, Izuku reviewed the latest system update. Security protocol completed. CCTV mastery. 52%. Combat prediction. Level 2. New feature unlocked. Security analysis. Endoskeleton armor synchronization. 27%. Hidden entity synchronization updated. Springtrap. 9%. Golden Freddy. 5%. Before the panel disappeared, the room lights suddenly flickered. Flick. Flick. For only a single second. A tall decayed green rabbit stood silently in the corner of Izuku's room. One glowing purple eye stared directly at him. Then, it vanished into darkness. Several weeks passed. Class 1A continued growing stronger with every lesson. Their teamwork steadily improved. Their confidence increased. None of them realized their next class would become a real battlefield. Early that morning, Aizawa stood before the class. Today, rescue training. We're heading to the unforeseen simulation joint. The students cheered. All Might was absent. Instead, the rescue hero 13 welcomed everyone. Rescue work is more important than defeating villains. The students listened carefully. Izuku quietly looked around the enormous facility. Oceans, collapsed cities, mountains, fire zones. Every disaster environment imaginable existed inside the USJ. His emerald system briefly appeared. Fazbear summon system. Environment analysis. Multiple enclosed spaces. Limited visibility. High psychological effect. Status. Stable. The panel disappeared. Before 13 continued, the air twisted. Whoom. A swirling black portal suddenly opened at the center of the plaza. Purple mist spread across the floor. Students immediately stepped backward. That's not part of the lesson. Aizawa's expiration hardened. Dozens, then hundreds, of villains emerged from the portal. Armed criminals flooded every section of the USJ. Their laughter echoed across the building. Standing at the front, a pale young man scratched his neck repeatedly. Shigaraki Tamura. Beside him, Kurogiri floated calmly. His mist slowly expanded. How disappointing. Shigaraki looked around. All Might isn't here. Aizawa immediately stepped forward. 13. Protect the students. Before anyone could organize, Kurogiri spread his portals. Womb. Students were scattered throughout the USJ. Different disaster zones. Different enemies. Communication instantly collapsed. Izuku landed inside the ruined city zone. Chunks of concrete surrounded him. Broken vehicles blocked the streets. Villains slowly emerged from every direction. Only one criminal laughed. Easy. More footsteps echoed nearby. 10, 20, 50. Soon, well over 100 villains completely surrounded him. Izuku calmly looked around. That's a lot. The Emerald system flashed red. Warning. Hostile targets. 127. Recommended protocol. Nightmare deployment. Requirement. Accepted. Izuku blinked. Nightmare. The system continued. Hidden synchronization complete. Golden Freddy. 15%. Springtrap. 12%. Fear output. 42%. New summons available. Checkmark Nightmare Freddy. Checkmark Nightmare Bonnie. Checkmark Nightmare Chica. Checkmark Nightmare Foxy. Izuku slowly exhaled. Let's try it. He raised one hand. Green remnant energy erupted around him. Womb. The sky above the ruined city darkened. Streetlights began flickering. Flick, flick, flick. The ground cracked. Crack, crack. Black remnant mist poured upward. Deep mechanical breathing echoed throughout the battlefield. Roar. Every villain instinctively froze. From the darkness, two enormous crimson eyes opened. Then another pair. Then another. Nightmare Freddy slowly emerged. His body was nearly 4 meters tall. Countless jagged metal teeth filled his massive mouth. His claws scraped against broken asphalt. Skirt. Nightmare Bonnie stepped out beside him. His torn body revealed glowing remnant beneath shattered armor. His ears twitched slowly. Nightmare Chica followed. Rows of mechanical teeth stretched far beyond what should have been possible. Her cupcake floated beside her. Its eyes glowed blood red. Finally, Nightmare Foxy climbed from the shadows. His rusted hook dragged across the pavement. Sparks flew with every step. The ruined city became completely silent. One villain whispered, "Those aren't robots." Another stepped backward. Their eyes. Nightmare Freddy slowly turned toward the crowd. His glowing pupils narrowed. Roar. A massive remnant shockwave exploded outward. Whoom. Every nearby streetlight shattered. Boom. Windows cracked simultaneously. Crack. The villains clutched their heads. My head. What's happening? Make it stop. Their breathing became erratic. Their legs trembled uncontrollably. Several criminals collapsed without suffering a single physical injury. The Emerald system updated. Jumpscare frequency. 68%. Mass fear. Successful. Mental collapse. 31 targets. The remaining villains desperately fired their weapons. Bang. 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 Nightmare Freddy never moved. The bullets passed harmlessly through his remnant body. Nightmare Bonnie slowly tilted his head. Flash. For one terrifying second, every villain saw hundreds of glowing white eyes surrounding them. Phantom hallucinations spread through every street. They're everywhere. Run. Nightmare Foxy suddenly vanished. Whoosh. Then, he appeared directly behind another group. Roar. Another invisible fear wave erupted. Dozens of criminals screamed. Some dropped their weapons. Others fled without looking back. Nightmare Chica quietly laughed. Ha, ha, ha. Her distorted mechanical laughter echoed through the city. Every villain who heard it began seeing impossible things. Collapsed buildings moved. Empty cars watched them. Shadows crawled across the streets. This place, it's alive. Inside the central plaza, Kurogiri sensed the overwhelming remnant energy. Shigaraki. Something unexpected has appeared. Shigaraki frowned. What now? Before anyone answered, the ground beneath the USJ shook violently. Boom. An enormous remnant pulse spread across the entire facility. Even villains fighting in distant zones suddenly froze. Inside the observation tower, 13 stared at the surveillance screens. One student is forcing over 100 villains to retreat. Aizawa defeated another criminal before glancing toward the monitors. For the first time, even he remained speechless. The ruined city zone had become completely empty. Weapons littered the streets. Criminals fled in every direction. At the center, Izuku calmly stood surrounded by 4 towering nightmare animatronics. Not one of them had needed to kill. Fear alone had broken the enemy formation. The Emerald system quietly displayed one final notification. Nightmare protocol completed. Fear synchronization. 74%. New entities responding. Golden Freddy. 23%. Springtrap. 21%. High-level threat detected. Bioengineered lifeform approaching. Designation. Nomu. The USJ had fallen into complete chaos. Villains fled through shattered streets. Many abandoned their weapons. Others collapsed after enduring the overwhelming terror released by the nightmare animatronics. The ruined city zone became eerily quiet. Only Izuku and his towering summons remained standing. Inside the central plaza, Shigaraki stared at one of the security monitors. Every screen displayed the same scene. Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica, Nightmare Foxy, standing beside a calm green-haired student. Shigaraki scratched his neck harder. One kid destroyed an entire assault squad. Kurogiri floated beside him. His psychological attacks are beyond our predictions. Shigaraki slowly smiled. Then, let's send the one thing that doesn't feel fear. He turned toward the gigantic figure behind him. Nomu. The bioengineered monster slowly lifted its head. Its muscles expanded. Its exposed brain pulsed rhythmically. Roar. Boom. Nomu launched itself into the air. The ground collapsed beneath its feet. Inside the ruined city, Izuku looked upward. His system suddenly flashed crimson. Warning. Extreme threat detected. Designation. Bioengineered Nomu. Estimated danger. Maximum. Recommended summons. Golden Freddy. Springtrap. Izuku's eyes widened. Both. The system responded. Synchronization requirements fulfilled. Permission granted. Green remnant energy exploded around him. Whoom. The 4 nightmare animatronics slowly stepped backward. They lowered their heads respectfully, as though welcoming someone stronger. The air became unbearably cold. Every remaining streetlight shut off. Flick. Darkness covered the battlefield. From the shadows, an old golden chair slowly materialized. Creak. Golden Freddy quietly appeared, motionless, silent. One glowing eye stared toward the descending Nomu. Another disturbance followed. Green mist gathered beneath a collapsed building. Metal scraped against concrete. Skirt. A decayed rabbit slowly climbed out of the darkness. Its body was torn apart. One arm exposed rusted endoskeleton. Purple eyes burned beneath a cracked rabbit mask. Springtrap. Every villain watching through the monitors instinctively stepped backward. What? That rabbit. It's worse than the others. Springtrap slowly tilted his head. Creak. The Emerald system updated. High-level summons active. Check mark Golden Freddy. Check mark Springtrap. Remnant energy. 81%. Nomu landed directly before Izuku. Boom. The shockwave blasted away broken vehicles. Dust filled the air. Without hesitation, Nomu charged. Boom. Its massive fist surged toward Izuku. Springtrap moved first. Whoosh. He intercepted the attack with both mechanical hands. Boom. The impact shattered nearby buildings. Crack. Springtrap slid several meters backward. Yet, he never lost his footing. Nomu attacked again. Boom. 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 A relentless barrage of punches rained down. Springtrap answered with brutal precision. His rusted claws slashed across Nomu's chest. Slash. Green remnant sparks erupted. Crack. Deep claw marks appeared. Nomu roared. Roar. Its muscles regenerated almost instantly. Izuku observed carefully. Its regeneration. The system immediately analyzed the target. Enemy analysis complete. Shock absorption. Confirmed. High-speed regeneration. Confirmed. Pain suppression. Confirmed. Recommended tactic. Mental disruption. Izuku looked toward Golden Freddy. Can you do it? Golden Freddy never spoke. He simply stood. Then, his glowing eye flashed. Flash. The entire battlefield froze. Whoom. Nomu suddenly stopped moving. Its body remained upright. Yet, its eyes lost focus. Inside its mind, darkness, old hallways, broken security cameras, endless mechanical laughter echoed around it. Roar. Phantom animatronics surrounded the bioengineered creature from every direction. They never attacked. They simply watched. Outside, Nomu remained completely motionless. Shigaraki frowned. Move. Nothing happened. Kurogiri looked surprised. Its nervous system is experiencing hallucinations. Springtrap immediately seized the opportunity. Whoosh. He leapt onto Nomu's shoulders. His claws pierced directly into the monster's upper back. Crack. Green remnant electricity surged through the wound. Nomu convulsed violently. Roar. It attempted throwing Springtrap away. The decayed rabbit refused to release his grip. Izuku raised his hand. Everyone. Nightmare Freddy charged. Boom. He drove one enormous fist into Nomu's ribs. Crack. Nightmare Bonnie followed with a sonic roar. Boom. The shockwave staggered the monster. Nightmare Chica slammed both mechanical claws into Nomu's legs. Crack. Nightmare Foxy darted around the battlefield. Slash. Slash. Deep cuts rapidly covered Nomu's body. Yet, every wound regenerated. Izuku remained calm. Its body heals, but its mind doesn't. Golden Freddy's eye glowed once more. Flash. Another remnant pulse spread across the battlefield. Whoom. Nomu's movements became slower. Its attacks lost coordination. Its balance collapsed. The hallucinations intensified. Inside the observation room, Aizawa stared at the monitors. He isn't trying to overpower Nomu. All Might's voice echoed from another section of the USJ as he raced toward the battle. Young Midoriya is disabling its mind. The Emerald system displayed another update. Enemy mental stability. 31%. Hallucination effect. Increasing. New synchronized attack available. Golden Freddy plus Springtrap. Protocol. Blackout. Izuku slowly smiled. Then, let's finish the first phase. Golden Freddy and Springtrap turned toward one another. Their glowing eyes shone simultaneously as green remnant energy swallowed the battlefield, preparing a combination attack powerful enough to challenge the bioengineered monster. The ruined city zone trembled beneath an ocean of emerald remnant energy. Golden Freddy remained seated upon his old chair. Springtrap stood before him like a silent executioner. Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica, Nightmare Foxy, all waited for Izuku's command. Ahead of them, Nomu struggled against the overwhelming hallucinations invading its mind. Inside the central plaza, Shigaraki gritted his teeth. Nomu, kill him. Nomu roared. Roar. Its muscles swelled once more. Black veins spread across its body. With pure instinct, it broke through part of the illusion. Boom. Its fist slammed into Nightmare Freddy. Crack. The enormous animatronics slid backward across the street. Nightmare Bonnie attacked immediately. Brang. A devastating sonic blast struck Nomu's chest. Boom. The monster staggered, but remained standing. Springtrap disappeared. Whoosh. He reappeared behind Nomu. Slash. His claws carved another deep wound into the monster's back. Green remnant electricity surged through its nervous system. Crack. Nomu spun around violently. Boom. Its elbow smashed into Springtrap. The decayed rabbit crashed through 2 buildings. Boom. Dust exploded into the air. Izuku watched carefully. It's adapting. The Emerald system instantly responded. Enemy adaptation detected. Recommended protocol. Blackout. Activate. Golden Freddy slowly lifted his head. His glowing eye became completely black. Flash. The entire ruined city lost power. Every remaining light vanished. Absolute darkness swallowed the battlefield. What happened? One villain screamed. I can't see. Where's Nomu? Inside the darkness, only emerald eyes remained visible. Dozens. Then hundreds. Ghostly animatronic eyes surrounded every direction. Roar. Shigaraki instinctively stepped backward. For the first time, his heartbeat accelerated. What is this? Inside the darkness, Nomu stopped moving again. Its senses completely collapsed. Its brain struggled to process endless hallucinations. Broken hallways, security cameras, mechanical laughter, glowing eyes, impossible corridors. Golden Freddy quietly pointed one finger toward Nomu. The Emerald system flashed. Blackout complete. Enemy mental stability. 8%. Finishing move available. Izuku slowly raised his hand. Golden Freddy. The ancient bear finally stood. Creak. The chair behind him dissolved into green particles. He slowly walked toward the frozen bio-weapon. Every step echoed unnaturally. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Nomu couldn't move. Its muscles refused every command. Golden Freddy stopped directly before it. His massive jaw slowly opened. Far wider than physically possible. Metal groaned. Creak. Rows of glowing remnant teeth filled the darkness. The system announced. Ultimate skill. The ultimate bite. Golden Freddy lunged. Whoosh. Crunch. His enormous jaws clamped directly onto Nomu's upper body. A massive explosion of emerald remnant erupted outward. Boom. Shockwaves tore through the ruined city. Windows shattered. Roads cracked apart. Buildings trembled violently. Inside the central plaza, every villain stared in disbelief. Nomu's regeneration suddenly stopped. Green remnant energy flooded every damaged cell. Its biological structure began collapsing from within. Crack, crack, crack. Golden Freddy released his grip. Nomu stumbled backward, its body covered in glowing fractures. 1 second later, boom. A massive remnant explosion launched the monster high into the sky. The gigantic bio-weapon spun helplessly through the air before crashing outside the USJ. Boom. The ground shook from the impact. Complete silence followed. The Emerald system updated. Battle complete. Bio-engineered target neutralized. The ultimate bite. Successful. Golden Freddy synchronization. 41%. Springtrap synchronization. 34%. New evolution available soon. Shigaraki stared toward the ruined battlefield. His hands trembled slightly. Nomu. Lost. Kurogiri immediately opened a portal. Shigaraki. We must retreat. Before Shigaraki could answer, another tremendous shockwave echoed across the USJ. Boom. All Might landed in the center of the plaza. His cape fluttered behind him. His eyes immediately searched the battlefield. Instead of finding a raging Nomu, he found only a calm green-haired student surrounded by ghostly animatronics. All Might looked toward the unconscious bio-weapon lying far beyond the arena. Then back toward Izuku. Young Midoriya, did you defeat that creature? Izuku scratched his cheek awkwardly. Well, Golden Freddy did most of the work. All Might laughed loudly. Ha ha ha. Then remind me to thank him later. Far away, hidden within the shadows of the retreating villains, a pair of glowing purple eyes silently watched Izuku. Springtrap had disappeared from the battlefield. Yet somehow, his presence could still be felt. The Emerald system displayed one final notification before fading away. New animatronic series detected. Funtime animatronics. Requirements for synchronization have begun. The USJ incident became national news. Every television station replayed the battle repeatedly. A first-year UA student. Ghostly animatronics. A bioengineered monster defeated before All Might could even reach the battlefield. Izuku's name quickly spread throughout hero society. Weeks later, life at UA finally returned to normal. Students focused on preparing for the upcoming sports festival. Training fields remained crowded from sunrise until sunset. Everyone wanted to stand on the biggest stage in Japan. Inside Classroom 1A, Midnight smiled brightly. The UA Sports Festival begins tomorrow. This is your chance to show the world what kind of heroes you'll become. The class immediately became excited. Hiroshima clenched his fists. I'm fired up. Mina laughed. This is going to be amazing. Bakugo crossed his arms. I'm winning. Todoroki quietly looked toward Izuku. I'll be facing you eventually. Izuku smiled politely. I'll do my best. That evening, inside his room, the Emerald system appeared automatically. Fazbear summon system. Battle records analyzed. New synchronization completed. Golden Freddy. 45%. Springtrap. 38%. New series unlocked. Checkmark Funtime Freddy. Checkmark Funtime Foxy. Checkmark Circus Baby. Checkmark Ballora. New tactical protocol. Parade formation. Izuku blinked. New animatronics. Green remnant energy slowly gathered around him. Whoom. One by one, new figures emerged. Funtime Freddy stepped forward. His polished white body reflected emerald light. A small blue hand puppet rested on his right arm. Both smiled mischievously. Hello, superstar. Next, Funtime Foxy gracefully spun across the room. Their silver body moved with incredible speed and elegance. Ballora slowly appeared. She quietly danced across the floor with closed eyes. Every movement resembled a perfect ballet performance. Finally, Circus Baby materialized. Her glowing emerald eyes calmly examined Izuku. Greetings. Izuku looked around in amazement. You're all different. Circus Baby nodded. Our purpose isn't fear, it's performance. The next morning, the UA Sports Festival officially began. More than 40,000 spectators filled the enormous stadium. Cheering echoed from every direction. Television cameras hovered overhead. Reporters prepared their broadcasts. President Mike's energetic voice exploded through the speakers. Welcome to the greatest student competition in Japan. The audience erupted into applause. Students entered the arena one class at a time. Class 1A received the loudest cheers. Izuku quietly looked around. So many people. Ochako smiled nervously. I've never seen a crowd this big. The first event soon began. Obstacle race. Air horns sounded. Beep. Every student rushed forward. Boom. Explosions. Ice. Electricity. Everyone immediately used their quirks. Izuku calmly walked several steps. Then, raised one hand. Parade formation. The Emerald system responded instantly. Protocol accepted. Deploying Funtime series. Whoom. Multiple emerald summoning circles expanded across the stadium. Funtime Freddy appeared first. Funtime Foxy gracefully landed beside him. Ballora spun elegantly across the pavement. Circus Baby calmly stepped forward. The audience gasped. More animatronics. Those aren't the same ones from USJ. Inside the VIP seats, pro heroes leaned forward. Endeavor narrowed his eyes. He developed new summons. Hawks smiled. Interesting. The race immediately continued. The first obstacle, massive combat robots. Instead of attacking, Funtime Freddy laughed. Showtime. He swung one enormous fist. Boom. 3 robots flew backward simultaneously. Funtime Foxy dashed between dozens of machines. Whoosh. Their silver claws sliced through robot joints with surgical precision. Slash, slash. Ballora danced effortlessly across collapsing debris. Every graceful spin avoided incoming attacks by mere centimeters. Circus Baby calmly pointed one finger. Green remnant cables erupted forward. Whoosh. They wrapped around a giant robot. Clench. Boom. The machine crashed into several others. Students stared while running. Mina laughed. He turned the race into a concert. Kaminari nodded. Those animatronics are actually working together. The second obstacle, a gigantic canyon. Thick ropes stretched across the gap. Many students hesitated. Izuku smiled. Ballora. She gracefully extended one arm. Green remnant ribbons spread across the canyon. Whoom. They formed elegant bridges of glowing energy. Izuku calmly crossed. His animatronics followed like performers walking onto a stage. Spectators erupted into applause. That's beautiful. It's like watching a musical. The third obstacle, a massive minefield. Students slowed immediately. Izuku quietly looked toward Circus Baby. Clear the path. Understood. Circus Baby gently tapped the ground. Hundreds of tiny emerald drones emerged beneath the soil. They carefully identified every hidden mine. The system displayed safe routes. Izuku calmly walked straight through the field. Not a single explosion occurred. Behind him, other students quickly followed the cleared path. Ochako smiled. Thanks. Izuku waved. Good luck. Minutes later, the finish line appeared. Bakugo exploded through the air. Todoroki created an ice road. Tokiyami flew using dark shadow. Izuku calmly accelerated. Funtime Foxy suddenly crouched. Need a lift. Izuku nodded. Whoosh. Funtime Foxy launched him forward with incredible speed. Izuku crossed the finish line. Only fractions of a second behind Bakugo and Todoroki. The stadium erupted. Present Mike shouted excitedly. Unbelievable. Midoriya introduced an entirely new group of animatronics. What an incredible performance. Inside the waiting area, the Emerald system quietly updated. Parade formation completed. Funtime synchronization. 24%. New protocol unlocked. Cavalry support mode. Before the notification disappeared, another hidden silhouette briefly appeared. Its broad frame resembled a familiar brown bear with a blue lightning symbol across its chest. Glamrock Freddy. Status. Awaiting synchronization. The obstacle race ended with thunderous applause. After the cavalry battle concluded, only 16 students remained. They advanced to the final tournament. The stadium buzzed with excitement. Millions watched the live broadcast across Japan. Present Mike stood in the center of the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, the one-on-one tournament begins now. The giant screen displayed the bracket. One particular match immediately captured everyone's attention. Match 3, Izuku Midoriya versus Shoto Todoroki. The audience erupted. This is going to be incredible. The animatronic hero versus Endeavor's son. Inside the waiting room, Todoroki quietly approached Izuku. I watched your battles. Your summons are powerful. Izuku smiled. Your ice is incredible too. Todoroki looked toward the arena. I won't hold back. I hope you don't. Minutes later, both entered the battlefield. The crowd cheered loudly. Midnight raised one arm. Begin. Boom. Before Izuku even moved, Todoroki slammed one hand onto the ground. Crack. A gigantic glacier erupted across the arena. Towering walls of ice raced toward Izuku. Spectators gasped. He started with that. The Emerald system immediately appeared. Enemy attack detected. Temperature. Extremely low. Recommended summon. Glamrock Freddy. New synchronization confirmed. Izuku blinked. Already. The system responded. Battle conditions fulfilled. Glamrock Freddy unlocked. Whoom. A brilliant emerald summoning circle expanded beneath Izuku. Electric green light illuminated the arena. Heavy footsteps echoed. Clunk, clunk, clunk. From the glowing light, a massive brown animatronic stepped forward. Blue lightning markings decorated his armor. A green bow tie rested proudly on his chest. His emerald eyes calmly observed the incoming glacier. Glamrock Freddy. The audience stood. Another one. He summoned a new animatronic. Inside the VIP section, Endeavor narrowed his eyes. Interesting. Glamrock Freddy calmly stepped forward. I'll handle this. He raised both mechanical hands. Green remnant energy gathered around his chest. Womb. The Emerald system updated. Ability available. Sonic Wave. Release. Glamrock Freddy opened his mouth. BRAAAAAAAANG. A massive emerald soundwave erupted across the battlefield. The shockwave collided directly with Todoroki's glacier. Boom. The gigantic ice wall shattered into countless fragments. Crack, crack, crack. Millions of sparkling ice crystals filled the air. The audience exploded with applause. He destroyed the glacier. With sound, Todoroki's eyes widened slightly. A sonic attack. Without hesitation, he created another wave of ice. Boom. Glamrock Freddy charged. Whoosh. He smashed straight through the frozen battlefield. Every punch shattered enormous ice pillars. Boom. Crack. Boom. Todoroki slid backward. He's stronger than I expected. Izuku remained calm. Keep pushing. Glamrock Freddy smiled. Gladly. He struck the ground. Boom. Green remnant energy spread beneath the arena floor. Multiple speakers of emerald light materialized around the battlefield. The system updated again. Concert zone. Activated. Brong. 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 Waves of sound echoed from every direction. The arena vibrated. Todoroki's balance faltered. His ice techniques became increasingly unstable. Inside the observation room, Smintos folded his arms. He transformed the battlefield. All Might smiled proudly. Young Midoriya adapts faster every match. Realizing brute force wasn't enough, Todoroki finally used his left side. Whoom. Bright orange flames erupted. Heat instantly melted the remaining ice. The stadium temperature rapidly increased. Spectators gasped. He finally used fire. Izuku smiled slightly. There it is. Todoroki unleashed a gigantic torrent of flames. Boom. Glamrock Freddy stood his ground. Green remnants surrounded his body. Instead of retreating, he walked forward through the fire. Step, step, step. His armor glowed brilliantly. The Emerald system displayed another ability. Remnant thermal conversion. The surrounding flames flowed toward Glamrock Freddy. Instead of burning him, they became emerald energy. Energy absorbed. His chest glowed even brighter. Todoroki stared silently. He absorbed my flames. Izuku nodded. Give it back. Glamrock Freddy raised both hands. BRAAAAAANG. The largest sonic wave yet erupted across the stadium. Combined with converted remnant heat, the emerald shockwave blasted directly toward Todoroki. Boom. Todoroki crossed his arms. Ice and fire erupted simultaneously. Crack. Boom. The collision created a massive cloud of steam. The entire arena disappeared beneath white mist. Silence. Slowly, the steam cleared. Both students remained standing. Neither had fallen. Todoroki lowered his hands. He looked toward Glamrock Freddy. Then toward Izuku. After several quiet seconds, he smiled faintly. I understand. You're not relying on fear. You're protecting people. Izuku nodded. That's what heroes do. Todoroki closed his eyes. Then, he raised one hand. I surrender. The stadium became completely silent. 1 second later, thunderous applause erupted. Midnight raised Izuku's arm. Winner. Izuku Midoriya. Glamrock Freddy quietly dissolved into emerald particles. Before disappearing, he looked toward Todoroki. That was a wonderful performance. Todoroki smiled slightly. Thank you. Inside the waiting room, the Emerald system displayed another notification. Battle complete. Glamrock synchronization, 32%. Sonic wave mastery, 18%. New hidden entity responding. Status, locked. Name detected. The Puppet, synchronization, 1%. The UA Sports Festival ended successfully. Izuku's unusual quirk attracted countless offers from hero agencies. Some wanted to study his animatronics. Others hoped to recruit him immediately after graduation. Inside Classroom 1A, Aizawa placed several documents onto the desk. Internships. Choose your agencies. Students immediately gathered around the papers. Hiroshima grinned. Crimson Riot's agency. Mina smiled. There are so many choices. Izuku quietly examined the list. One agency immediately caught his attention. Gunhead Agency. Hosu City Branch. Ochako smiled. You're choosing Gunhead too. Izuku nodded. Their rescue operations are impressive. Days later, the internships officially began. Hosu City welcomed dozens of hero interns. Patrol vehicles moved through every district. Pro-heroes maintained constant surveillance. Despite that, the atmosphere felt uneasy. Recent disappearances had increased. Criminal activity became more violent. Rumors about the hero killer spread everywhere. Inside Gunhead's office, Gunhead unfolded a city map. Hero killer Stain has been spotted several times. He pointed toward multiple narrow alleyways. Avoid pursuing him alone. Report immediately if you find anything. Everyone nodded. That evening, Izuku began his patrol. The streets gradually emptied. Shops closed. Streetlights illuminated the sidewalks. His emerald system quietly activated. Fazbear summon system. Night patrol mode. Online. City surveillance. Active. Recommended companion. Foxy. Foxy. Womb. Green remnant particles gathered beside him. Foxy quietly materialized. His glowing hook reflected beneath the streetlights. Night patrol. Foxy grinned. My favorite. Instead of walking beside Izuku, Foxy climbed onto the rooftops. Whoosh. He disappeared into the darkness. The emerald system immediately expanded. CCTV network. Camera 01. Foxy. Online. Visual feed connected. Through Foxy's eyes, Izuku observed nearly every nearby rooftop. Every intersection. Every alley. Hours passed peacefully. Then, Foxy suddenly stopped. His ears slowly twittered. Something. The pirate animatronic crouched low. He sniffed the air. Blood. Izuku immediately became serious. Where? The system highlighted several rooftops. Possible source detected. Distance. 1.2 kilometers. Foxy sprinted. Whoosh. Izuku followed across the rooftops. Far ahead, another figure desperately ran through the narrow streets. Tenya Iida. His breathing was uneven. His expiration filled with panic. Brother. He ignored every warning. He continued chasing someone. Izuku frowned. Iida. The system instantly displayed another warning. Student detected. Emotional condition. Unstable. Danger level. High. Foxy landed beside Izuku. He isn't chasing. He's hunting. Izuku immediately accelerated. Whoosh. Multiple rooftops blurred beneath his feet. Minutes later, Foxy suddenly stopped atop an old warehouse. He slowly pointed downward. There. Izuku carefully looked into the alley below. Tenya stood in the middle of the narrow passage. His engines roared loudly. Before him, stood a thin man holding several bloodstained swords. His tongue slowly licked one crimson blade. Hero killer Stain. Finally, Iida clenched his fists. I found you. Stain calmly smiled. Revenge. So you've abandoned the path of a hero. Iida charged. Whoosh. Clang. Their blades collided. Sparks scattered through the alley. Stain easily sidestepped every attack. His movements remained frighteningly precise. Slash. His sword cut across Iida's arm. A small line of blood appeared. Stain smiled. Got you. He licked the fresh blood from his blade. Blood curdle. Ida's entire body suddenly froze. What? He struggled desperately. His muscles refused every command. Stain slowly approached. Justice driven by hatred always ends like this. He calmly raised his sword. High above, Izuku's eyes narrowed. Foxy. The pirate animatronic immediately understood. Whoosh. A crimson blur descended from the rooftop. Slash. Foxy's metal hook intercepted Stain's descending blade. Clang. The impact echoed throughout the alley. Stain immediately jumped backward. His sharp eyes examined the enormous pirate animatronic. Another hero. Foxy slowly stood between Stain and the paralyzed Ida. His glowing yellow eyes never left the swordsman. Protected. Izuku landed beside them. Boom. Stain calmly looked toward the green-haired student. Then toward the ghostly animatronic. Midoriya Izuku. The student from UA. Izuku nodded. And you're under arrest. Stain smiled faintly. Show me whether your conviction is worthy. The emerald system quietly flashed. Hostile target identified. Hero killer Stain. Combat protocol initiated. New tactical support available. Shadow tracking active. Foxy slowly lowered his body. His claws scraped against the pavement. Skirt. The alley fell completely silent. The duel between the hunter of false heroes and the guardian of the night had begun. The narrow alley of Hosu City became completely silent. Rainwater slowly dripped from broken rooftops. Drip, drip, drip. Stain calmly held his blood-stained sword. Foxy stood between him and the motionless Tenya Ida. Izuku slowly stepped forward. Neither side moved. Stain's sharp eyes examined the ghostly pirate. An animatronic. Interesting. He shifted his gaze toward Izuku. Tell me, what kind of hero are you? Izuku answered without hesitation. One who saves people. Stain smiled faintly. Words are meaningless. Show me. Whoosh. Stain vanished. His speed startled even experienced heroes. Clang. His blade collided against Foxy's metal hook. Sparks scattered through the alley. Crack. Foxy slid backward only one step. He immediately counterattacked. Slash. His hook carved across the pavement. Stain narrowly avoided the strike. Fast. Stain admitted. He disappeared again. Whoosh. Multiple slashes rained toward Izuku. Slash. 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 Freddy suddenly materialized beside him. Woom. Clang. The massive bear blocked every sword strike using his armored forearm. Defensive response complete. Stain leapt backward. His eyes narrowed. You can summon them instantly. Izuku remained calm. I don't fight alone. Stain rushed once more. This time, Bonnie appeared. Brang. One powerful guitar chord echoed through the alley. Boom. The sonic wave forced Stain backward several meters. Before he recovered, Chica descended from above. Boom. Her claws slammed into the ground. The street cracked apart. Crack. Stain twisted through the dust. His movements remained incredibly precise. Excellent. He smiled. Finally, someone worth testing. The emerald system suddenly flashed. Hostile determination increasing. Recommended protocol. Nightmare deployment. Izuku looked toward Stain. All right. Nightmare protocol. Green remnant exploded throughout the alley. Woom. The sky darkened unnaturally. Streetlights flickered violently. Flick, flick, flick. Cold mist slowly spread across the pavement. The surrounding buildings seemed darker than before. Deep mechanical breathing echoed through the city. Roar. Nightmare Freddy slowly emerged. His towering body blocked the end of the alley. Nightmare Bonnie stepped from the shadows. His glowing crimson eyes locked onto Stain. Nightmare Chica appeared beside the ruined buildings. Her metallic teeth reflected the dim light. Nightmare Foxy climbed silently across nearby walls. His glowing eyes followed every movement. The atmosphere instantly changed. Stain stopped moving. For the first time, his heartbeat accelerated. He slowly looked around. Every direction contained another nightmare animatronic. None attacked. None spoke. They simply watched. Roar. Nightmare Freddy took one slow step. Clunk. Another. Clunk. The ground shook beneath every movement. Stain gripped his sword tighter. Fear. Interesting. The emerald system activated automatically. Jumpscare frequency. 82%. Target mental resistance. Extremely high. Recommended output. Maximum. Izuku nodded once. Release it. Nightmare Freddy opened his massive jaw. Roar. A devastating remnant shockwave erupted across the alley. Whoom. Every nearby window shattered instantly. Boom. Streetlights exploded. Crack. Birds fled from distant rooftops. Inside Stain's mind, the world suddenly changed. The alley disappeared. Instead, he stood inside endless darkness. Broken security cameras watched from every wall. Old animatronic footsteps echoed around him. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Pairs of glowing red eyes slowly opened. 1, 5, 20, hundreds. Nightmare Freddy stood before him. Nightmare Bonnie behind him. Nightmare Chica to his left. Nightmare Foxy above him. Roar. For the first time in many years, Stain felt genuine fear. Not fear of death. Not fear of defeat. Pure instinctive terror. Outside the illusion, his body remained frozen. His sword slowly lowered. His breathing became uneven. Izuku quietly watched him. He's trapped. The emerald system confirmed. Mental paralysis. Successful. Hallucination intensity. 91%. Stain desperately tried moving. His muscles refused. Every direction revealed another nightmare. Their glowing eyes never blinked. Impossible. He raised his sword. His hands trembled. Nightmare Foxy suddenly appeared directly before him. Flash. Roar. Another fear pulse exploded. Whoom. Stain instinctively stumbled backward. His balance completely collapsed. He fell onto one knee. My body. Inside the nearby rooftop, several villains secretly observing the battle immediately fled. Monster. That kid summoned monsters. They disappeared into the night without looking back. The hallucination finally faded. The ruined alley returned. The nightmare animatronics still surrounded Stain from every direction. Their glowing crimson eyes remained fixed upon him. Stain slowly lifted his head toward Izuku. Despite the lingering fear, he smiled. Remarkable. He struggled back onto his feet. Your power inspires fear, yet you never abuse it. He pointed his sword toward Izuku. You fight only to protect. Izuku remained silent. Stain lowered his weapon. Then, continue walking your path. Before anyone reacted, a sudden blur shot across the rooftops. Whoosh. Multiple black figures landed nearby. Pro-heroes had finally arrived. The Emerald system quietly displayed one final notification. Battle completed. Fear synchronization. 89%. New entity resonance detected. Shadow Bonnie. 42%. Next evolution approaching. The narrow alley remained silent. Broken streetlights flickered weakly. Flick. Flick. Small pieces of concrete rolled across the cracked pavement. Stain slowly stood once again. His breathing had become heavier. Sweat dripped down his face. The nightmare animatronics still surrounded him from every direction. None of them moved. None of them attacked. Their glowing crimson eyes never left him. Tenya Iida remained frozen against the wall. His paralysis had yet to wear off. He could only watch the confrontation unfold. Izuku quietly stepped forward. It's over. Stain smiled faintly. Not yet. Whoosh. Without warning, Stain burst forward. His incredible speed returned in an instant. He ignored every nightmare illusion. His sword headed directly toward Izuku. Clang. Foxy intercepted him. Metal collided against steel. Sparks scattered across the alley. Crack. Stain twisted his body. He used Foxy's hook as a foothold. Then launched himself over the pirate animatronic. Too predictable. He descended directly above Izuku. His blade flashed. Slash. The Emerald system immediately reacted. Critical threat detected. Recommended response. Shadow Bonnie. Hallucination lock. Izuku raised one hand. Shadow Bonnie. Womb. Emerald remnant surged through the shadows beneath every building. The alley suddenly became unnaturally dark. A pair of glowing white eyes slowly opened beneath Stain. What? A completely black rabbit climbed silently from the darkness. Its body possessed no visible details. Only glowing eyes. And an unnatural smile. Shadow Bonnie. Stain instinctively swung his sword. Slash. The blade passed straight through the shadow. An illusion. Shadow Bonnie slowly tilted his head. Creak. Flash. The world instantly changed. Stain no longer stood inside Hosu City. Instead, he found himself trapped inside an endless security office. Old monitors surrounded every wall. Green static covered every screen. ZZZZZT. ZZZZZT. Every camera displayed a different animatronic. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, Springtrap, Nightmare Freddy, all stared directly toward him. Where am I? The office lights suddenly went out. Flick. Darkness. Footsteps echoed somewhere behind him. Clunk, clunk, clunk. He spun around. Nothing. Another sound. Creak. The office door slowly opened by itself. A long dark hallway stretched beyond it. Pairs of glowing eyes silently watched from within. Roar. Stain instinctively stepped backward. Outside the illusion, his real body completely froze. His sword slipped from his fingers. Clang. The Emerald system updated. Hallucination lock. Activated. Target consciousness. Isolated. Physical movement. 0%. Inside the illusion, Stain desperately attempted escaping. He ran through endless corridors. Every hallway led back to the same security office. Every camera continued following him. Enough. He slashed every monitor. Crack. Instead of breaking, new screens appeared. Hundreds. Then thousands. Every monitor suddenly displayed Golden Freddy. Flash. The golden bear disappeared from every screen. Where did he? A cold mechanical breath echoed behind him. Stain slowly turned. Golden Freddy stood directly behind him. Motionless. Silent. One glowing eye stared into his own. Roar. An overwhelming remnant pulse erupted. Womb. The illusion shattered. Outside, Stain collapsed onto one knee. His entire body trembled uncontrollably. His breathing became uneven. He could no longer distinguish illusion from reality. Izuku calmly walked toward him. This ends now. Stain looked upward. His vision blurred. Then, he laughed quietly. Ha, ha, remarkable. Your fear protects people. Never stop. His voice faded. His eyes rolled back. Thud. Hero killer Stain lost consciousness. The Emerald system displayed another notification. Battle complete. Hallucination lock. Successful. Enemy subdued. No fatalities. Shadow Bonnie synchronization. 68%. Fear synchronization. 93%. New combat form available. Endoskeleton armor. Status. Unlocked. Green remnant immediately surrounded Izuku. Womb. Thin mechanical components briefly formed over his arms. Metal fingers. Silver forearms. Glowing emerald joints. They appeared for only a moment before disappearing again. Prototype transformation. 8%. Before Izuku could inspect the new ability, multiple heroes finally arrived. Whoosh. Endeavor landed first. Boom. Gran Torino followed moments later. Native rushed toward the unconscious Iida. Manuel quickly checked Stain's condition. Endeavor looked around the devastated alley. Broken pavement. Destroyed walls. Deep claw marks. Remnant energy still floated through the air. He turned toward Izuku. Did you defeat Hero Killer Stain? Izuku nodded. Yes. Gran Torino looked at the unconscious villain. Then at the fading emerald particles. Interesting. That wasn't ordinary psychological warfare. Native hurried toward Iida. His paralysis is wearing off. Tenya slowly regained control over his body. He looked toward Izuku. Midoriya, you saved me. Izuku smiled. That's what friends do. High above the rooftops, far beyond everyone's sight, a lone shadow quietly observed the scene. Its body resembled a tall wooden puppet suspended by invisible strings. Two glowing white eyes slowly opened within the darkness. The Emerald system silently displayed one final message. New entity confirmed. The puppet synchronization. 27%. Summer arrived. Class 1A prepared for their forest training camp. After the battle against Stain, everyone understood one thing. Villains would no longer ignore UA students. Every lesson from now on carried real danger. Early that morning, two large buses departed from UA. Students laughed throughout the ride. Mina played music. Kaminari challenged Kirishima to card games. Even Bakugo remained unusually quiet. Izuku sat beside Ochako near the window. His emerald system quietly appeared. Fazbear summon system. Active synchronization. Freddy 63%. Bonnie 61%. Chica 60%. Foxy 66%. Golden Freddy 48%. Springtrap 46%. Shadow Bonnie 68%. Prototype. Endoskeleton armor. Combat stability. 17%. Before the panel disappeared, another notification appeared. Training camp environment detected. Recommended protocol. Security network. Izuku smiled. Security. Hours later, the buses stopped deep inside the mountains. The vast forest stretched endlessly before them. Fresh air filled every direction. Birds sang peacefully above the trees. Waiting at the entrance, stood the wild pussycats. Pixie Bob waved excitedly. Welcome. Mandalay smiled. Your training begins now. Before anyone relaxed, Pixie Bob slammed both hands onto the ground. Boom. The earth exploded upward. Massive stone beasts emerged from the soil. Dozens. Then hundreds. Survive. The beasts immediately charged. Run. Students scattered across the forest. Izuku summoned Freddy and Foxy. Whoom. Boom. Freddy smashed one stone beast with a single punch. Crack. Foxy dashed through another group. Whoosh. Slash. Multiple monsters collapsed. After several exhausting hours, Class 1A finally reached the training lodge. Everyone collapsed onto the grass. I'm dead. Kaminari groaned. Mina laughed weakly. That wasn't training. That was torture. The students spent the next several days improving their quirks. Combat drills. Team exercises. Night patrols. Everybody became stronger. One evening, the sun slowly disappeared behind the mountains. Orange light faded into darkness. The forest became unusually quiet. Izuku suddenly stopped walking. Something's wrong. Foxy immediately sniffed the air. His ears twittered. Smoke. Freddy slowly looked toward the western forest. Multiple hostile signatures. The Emerald system flashed crimson. Warning. Hostile forces approaching. Estimated targets. 31. Danger level. High. Recommended protocol. Forest security. Alarms echoed inside Izuku's mind. Beep. Far away. Trees suddenly exploded. Boom. Flames spread rapidly. Birds scattered into the sky. Villains. Someone shouted. The Vanguard Action Squad stormed into the forest. Muscular laughed wildly while smashing enormous trees. Boom. Dobby calmly walked through the flames. Blue fire consumed everything around him. Whoosh. Mr. Compress captured several pro-heroes inside glowing marbles. Spinner and Magna charged alongside dozens of villains. The training camp instantly descended into chaos. Students hurried to defend themselves. Izuku raised both hands. Security protocol. Green Remnant erupted across the forest. Whoom. Instead of summoning nightmare animatronics, New emerald circles appeared high among the trees. Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Montgomery Gator, Roxanne Wolf, appeared one after another. Their polished armor reflected the moonlight. The emerald system updated. Glamrock Security Network, online. Forest radar, active. Thermal scanning, active. Motion tracking, active. Green scanning waves expanded through the entire forest. Womb. Every movement, every heartbeat, every hostile presence, instantly appeared inside Izuku's vision. Red markers covered the holographic map. Enemy located. Muscular. Enemy located. Dobby. Enemy located. Twice. Enemy located. Mr. Compress. Izuku immediately issued commands. Monty. Stop muscular. Understood. Boom. Montgomery Gator leapt through the trees. His massive claws ripped through the air. Roxanne. Protect the eastern group. Whoosh. Roxanne disappeared into the darkness. Her incredible speed allowed her to intercept every approaching villain. Glamrock Chica. Escort the injured. Affirmative. She immediately gathered frightened students behind her reinforced shield. Glamrock Freddy. With me. Always. Inside the western forest. Muscular laughed while throwing gigantic boulders. Boom. Where's the fun? Suddenly, Monty crashed directly into him. Boom. Both giants rolled across the forest floor. Trees collapsed around them. Crack. Muscular laughed even louder. Finally, elsewhere, Dobby launched blue flames toward several students. Whoosh. Before the fire reached them, Glamrock Freddy stepped forward. His emerald barrier expanded. Boom. The blue flames crashed harmlessly against the glowing shield. Everyone, he calmly spoke. Stay behind me. The students stared in amazement. He blocked Dobby's flames. With one shield. Throughout the forest, every Glamrock animatronic coordinated perfectly. They communicated through Izuku's security network. Villains attempting ambushes were intercepted. Injured students were immediately located. Escape routes appeared on everyone's holographic map. Inside the control lodge, Mandalay watched the expanding emerald radar. He turned the entire forest. She smiled in disbelief. Into one giant security system. The emerald system suddenly issued another alert. High priority threat approaching. Designation. Muscular. Distance. 120 meters. Estimated interception. 18 seconds. Izuku looked toward the approaching warning. The ground began shaking. Boom. 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 Massive footsteps echoed through the burning forest. Through the smoke, a gigantic muscular figure burst from the trees with a savage grin. Found you. The emerald panel immediately displayed a new notification. Endoskeleton armor compatibility. 41%. Combat transformation available for emergency activation. The forest camp battle ended with heavy casualties on both sides. Although the Glamrock security network prevented countless injuries, the villains still achieved one objective. They kidnapped Katsuki Bakugo. The news spread across Japan overnight. Television broadcasts covered every development. Pro-heroes mobilized immediately. Public confidence in heroes dropped once again. Inside UA, Class 1A sat in complete silence. No one smiled. No one spoke. Hiroshima finally clenched his fists. We're getting him back. Iida immediately stood. We are students. We can't interfere. Then I'm going anyway. Hiroshima replied. Everyone looked toward Izuku. He quietly activated his emerald system. Fazbear summon system. Mission analysis. Hostage rescue. Enemy territory infiltration. Recommended summon. Shadow Freddy. New synchronization complete. Check mark Shadow Freddy. Izuku looked at the glowing notification. Shadow Freddy. That evening, Hiroshima, Todoroki, Yaoyorozu, Iida, Ochako, and Izuku secretly gathered outside the dormitories. Yaoyorozu unfolded a city map. The tracker inside the Nomu fragment confirmed the location. She pointed toward an abandoned warehouse district. Kamino Ward. Todoroki crossed his arms. The heroes are preparing their own operation. Hiroshima looked toward Izuku. Can your quirk get us inside? Izuku nodded. I think so. Green Remnant slowly surrounded his body. Womb. The system displayed a new interface. Shadow Protocol. Summon. Shadow Freddy. Ability. Shadow Transit. Description. Travel between connected shadows. Shadow Freddy. The surrounding darkness began moving. Long black tendrils spread across the ground. The shadows beneath nearby streetlights merged together. Two glowing white eyes slowly appeared. Shadow Freddy emerged silently. His body resembled Freddy, but was completely black. His edges dissolved into drifting shadows. Destination. His deep voice echoed quietly. Izuku pointed toward Kami number. Take us there. Shadow Freddy nodded. He raised one massive hand. Womb. Every nearby shadow connected into a single corridor of darkness. It stretched across the ground like a flowing river. The Emerald system updated. Shadow Corridor. Stable. Travel time. 12 seconds. Ochako stared in amazement. That's incredible. Everyone. Izuku looked toward his classmates. Stay close. One by one, they stepped into the darkness. Instead of falling, they quietly glided through endless black space. Buildings, roads, lights, all passed around them like blurred reflections. Hiroshima looked around. This feels weird. Shadow Freddy calmly walked ahead. Remain silent. Seconds later, the corridor ended. Whoosh. Everyone emerged beneath another shadow. They now stood directly behind the abandoned warehouse. Todoroki looked toward the building. We crossed half the city. Without anyone seeing us, the Emerald system immediately scanned the area. Enemy signatures detected. League of Villains. Confirmed. Tamura Shigaraki. Dabi. Toga. Spinner. Mr. Compress. Hostage location. Upper floor. Bakugo. Alive. Hiroshima smiled. He's there. Inside the warehouse. Bakugo remained tied to a steel chair. Quit talking. He glared at the villains. I'm not joining you. Shigaraki sighed. You're stubborn. Before another word could be spoken, every light inside the warehouse suddenly flickered. Flick, flick, flick. What? Spinner looked upward. The shadows beneath every wall slowly expanded. Shadow Freddy silently emerged from the darkness behind several villains. None of them noticed. Izuku whispered. Operation begins. Shadow Freddy raised one hand. Darkness spread throughout the warehouse. Security cameras suddenly malfunctioned. ZZZT. ZZZT. Doors unlocked by themselves. Electronic alarms shut down. The Emerald system displayed another notification. Shadow infiltration. Complete. Enemy detection. 0%. Hiroshima quietly rushed toward Bakugo. Hang on. He quickly cut the restraints. Snap. Bakugo stood. Took you long enough. Before anyone could leave, a familiar voice echoed through the warehouse. Found you. Blue flames illuminated the darkness. Whoosh. Dabi calmly stood near the exit. His piercing blue eyes locked onto the students. Interesting rescue attempt. More footsteps followed. Toga smiled sweetly. They're so cute. Spinner drew his massive sword. Mr. Compress adjusted his mask. Shall we begin? The Emerald system immediately turned crimson. Combat mode activated. Multiple hostile targets approaching. Recommended response. Endoskeleton armor. Compatibility. 58%. Green Remnant surged across Izuku's body. Metallic components slowly formed around both arms. His legs. His chest. Glowing emerald mechanical joints clicked into place. Clack, clack, clack. The transformation stopped halfway. Only half of his body became covered in sleek endoskeleton armor. Power output increased. The villains silently watched. Dabi smiled. Now, this looks fun. Outside, a tremendous explosion suddenly echoed across Kami number. Boom. The entire warehouse shook violently. All Might had arrived. The final battle for Kamino had begun. The abandoned warehouse shook violently. Boom. Walls cracked. Broken windows shattered. Dust filled the air. Outside, All Might's booming voice echoed across Kami number. I am here. The League of Villains immediately became alert. Shigaraki smiled. He finally arrived. Inside the warehouse, Bakugo stood beside Kirishima. Quit staring. Let's move. Todoroki nodded. We'll leave through the eastern exit. Before anyone could escape, black mist spread across the hallway. Whoom. Kurogiri appeared. I'm afraid you won't be leaving. Shadow Freddy instantly stepped forward. His dark claws collided with the swirling portal. Boom. The mist scattered. The hallway briefly became clear. Go. Izuku shouted. Kirishima grabbed Bakugo. Everyone, run. The rescue team sprinted through the opening. Whoosh. Only Izuku remained behind. Dabi calmly walked forward. Blue flames ignited around both hands. Whoosh. You're staying. Izuku nodded. Someone has to delay you. Dabi smiled. Then burn. Boom. A massive wave of blue fire surged across the warehouse. Wooden pillars instantly ignited. Steel beams glowed red. Before the flames reached Izuku, green remnant exploded around him. Whoom. Metallic components rapidly covered his body. Clack, clack, clack. His arms transformed first, then his legs, his chest, his shoulders. A mechanical skull-like helmet slowly formed around his head. Glowing emerald eyes illuminated the darkness. The emerald system completed the sequence. Endoskeleton armor. Activation. 100%. Physical strength. Plus 300%. Reaction speed. Plus 240%. Armor durability. Plus 350%. Jumpscare output. 95%. Izuku slowly opened his mechanical eyes. Bright emerald light shone through the helmet. Dabi narrowed his eyes. That's new. Boom. He launched another torrent of blue flames. Izuku didn't dodge. He charged directly through them. Whoosh. His armored fist struck Dabi's guard. Boom. The impact launched Dabi through several concrete pillars. Crack. Chunks of debris crashed onto the floor. Spinner rushed forward from the side. His enormous sword descended. Slash. Clang. Izuku caught the blade with one mechanical hand. Metal screamed. Creak. Impossible. Spinner whispered. Crunch. Izuku crushed the sword between his fingers. Metal fragments scattered everywhere. Mr. Compress immediately threw several marbles. Whoosh. Shadow Freddy emerged beneath them. The marbles disappeared into darkness before reaching Izuku. Your tricks won't work. Outside, another explosion echoed. Boom. The battle between All Might and All for One had begun. Their shockwaves reached every corner of Kami number. Deep beneath the ruined warehouse, another presence slowly awakened. The emerald system suddenly flashed. Warning. Extreme hostile detected. All for One. Estimated threat. Catastrophic. Before Izuku reacted, the ceiling exploded. Boom. A towering figure slowly descended through the falling debris. Black suit. Life support mask. Countless stolen quirks. All for One. Every villain immediately stepped aside. Master. Shigaraki quietly bowed. All for One calmly looked toward Izuku. Then toward the animatronics surrounding him. What an unusual quirk. His sensors quietly analyzed the emerald remnant. Countless souls. Bound together. He slowly extended one hand. Allow me to take it. A violent force erupted. Whoom. Multiple quirk-stealing tendrils surged toward Izuku. The emerald system instantly screamed. Warning. Quirk theft detected. Automatic defense. Activating. Before the tendrils reached Izuku, Golden Freddy suddenly appeared. Whoom. Springtrap emerged beside him. Shadow Freddy stepped forward. Nightmare Freddy. Nightmare Bonnie. Nightmare Chica. Nightmare Foxy. Every animatronic materialized simultaneously. All of them stood between Izuku and All for One. All for one smiled. Interesting. His tendrils touched Golden Freddy's remnant. Flash. The world around him instantly disappeared. Instead, he found himself standing inside an endless mechanical graveyard. Thousands of broken animatronics surrounded him. Green remnant flames burned silently. One pair of glowing eyes opened. Then another. Then hundreds. Then thousands. Every remnant soul stared directly at him. Roar. Voices echoed from every direction. Not one, not 10, but countless overlapping whispers. Leave, 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 leave. The overwhelming spiritual pressure slammed directly into All for One's consciousness. Womb. Outside, his body suddenly froze. What? His hand trembled violently. For the first time in decades. Pain spread through his mind. My mind. Green remnant surged through the Quirk stealing tendrils. Instead of stealing, the tendrils began breaking apart. Crack, crack, crack. All for One immediately withdrew his hand. Boom. The remaining tendrils exploded into emerald particles. The Demon King staggered backward one step. Every villain stared in disbelief. Master was pushed back. All for One slowly steadied himself. His breathing remained calm, but his voice carried genuine curiosity. Those souls rejected me. He looked toward Izuku once more. Fascinating. Your quirk cannot be stolen. Because it refuses a new master. The Emerald system quietly displayed a final notification. Quirk theft resisted. Remnant souls accepted the user as their sole guardian. Fusion protocol progress. 74%. Next evolution approaching. The fusion animatronic. Kamino had become the center of Japan. Buildings crumbled beneath endless shockwaves. Boom. Fires spread across entire streets. Sirens echoed from every direction. Pro-heroes evacuated civilians while reporters broadcast the battle live. Every television in the country displayed the same scene. The symbol of peace, the Demon King, and a green-haired student standing between them. All for One slowly lowered his damaged hand. Green remnant particles still drifted around his fingers. His attempt to steal Izuku's quirk had completely failed. Remarkable. His calm voice echoed through the ruined district. Then I'll simply destroy you. Hundreds of stolen quirks activated simultaneously. The sky darkened. Violent winds erupted. Black lightning danced across the battlefield. Crack. All Might immediately stepped forward. Young Midoriya, leave him to me. Izuku shook his head. I'll support you. All Might smiled. Good. Boom. The symbol of peace charged. His fist collided with All for One's shockwave. An enormous explosion erupted across Kami number. While the two titans exchanged devastating blows. The Emerald system suddenly illuminated. Fusion protocol. Progress. 100%. Requirements fulfilled. Activate. The fusion animatronic. Izuku looked toward the battlefield. Activate. Womb. Emerald remnant erupted into the sky. Every summoned animatronic stopped moving. Freddy. Bonnie. Chica. Foxy. Golden Freddy. Springtrap. Shadow Freddy. Shadow Bonnie. Nightmare Freddy. Nightmare Bonnie. Nightmare Chica. Nightmare Foxy. Glamrock Freddy. Glamrock Chica. Montgomery Gator. Roxanne Wolf. Funtime Freddy. Funtime Foxy. Ballora. Circus Baby. All 20 manifestations slowly dissolved into brilliant emerald light. Their energy spiraled together above Kami number. The entire city trembled. Womb. All heroes looked upward. What now? Villains froze. Another summon. The emerald vortex became larger. 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 Until it covered the entire battlefield. Then, a gigantic mechanical hand emerged. Clunk. Another. Another. A colossal armored body slowly descended from the emerald storm. Its appearance constantly shifted. Freddy's broad frame. Springtrap's worn armor. Golden Freddy's glowing eyes. Nightmare claws. Glamrock armor. Circus Baby's emerald core. All perfectly merged into one enormous guardian. Nearly 30 meters tall, the fusion animatronic, its emerald eyes slowly opened. Flash. The surrounding air became unbelievably heavy. All for one quietly observed the giant. Magnificent. The fusion animatronic looked toward Izuku. Then gently lowered one enormous hand. Guardian awaiting command. Izuku climbed onto the giant's shoulder. Green Remnant surrounded both of them. The Emerald system updated. Fusion synchronization. Stable. Physical amplification. 900%. Remnant output. Maximum. Jumpscare resonance. 100%. All for one immediately attacked. Womb. Dozens of black energy spears shot toward the giant. Destroy it. The fusion animatronic calmly raised one arm. Boom. Every spear shattered against its emerald barrier. Crack. Without hesitation, the giant charged. Boom. Every step shook Kami number. Roads split apart. Buildings trembled. All for one fired another barrage. Explosions filled the air. Boom. 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 The fusion animatronic walked straight through them. Its armor remained unharmed. Counterattack. Izuku calmly ordered. The giant's chest began glowing. Womb. Thousands of emerald speakers materialized across its armor. The emerald system displayed a familiar attack. Grand finale showstage. The fusion animatronic opened its mouth. BRAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA number. Boom. The shockwave erased every remaining flame. Clouds scattered. Glass shattered across distant buildings. Villains covered their ears in agony. All for one crossed both arms. Multiple defensive quirks activated simultaneously. Crack. One barrier shattered. Another. Another. Every defense collapsed beneath the overwhelming remnant resonance. Impossible. Before all for one recovered, the fusion animatronic disappeared. Whoosh. Its enormous fist suddenly appeared directly before the Demon King. Boom. The punch launched all for one through 6 ruined buildings. Concrete erupted into the sky. Crack. All Might immediately understood the opening. His eyes ignited with determination. Thank you, young Midoriya. Boom. He launched himself forward. Every remaining ounce of One for All gathered into a single fist. Golden lightning erupted around him. United States of Smash. Boom. All Might's final punch struck All for One directly. The combined impact of One for All and the fusion animatronics remnant energy created an enormous emerald and gold explosion that illuminated the entire city. Whoom. Shockwaves spread across Kami number. The ground cracked. The sky cleared. When the light finally faded, All for One lay unconscious inside a gigantic crater. His life support mask shattered. Every stolen quirk had fallen silent. Complete silence covered the battlefield. 1 second later, cheers erupted from every direction. They won. All for One lost. It's over. The fusion animatronic slowly looked toward Izuku. Its glowing eyes softened. Mission complete. Its gigantic body dissolved into countless emerald particles that drifted peacefully into the evening sky. The Emerald system displayed one final update. Fusion animatronic. Mastery. Complete. New title acquired. The Fazbear hero. All Might slowly walked toward Izuku. Despite his injuries, he smiled proudly. Young Midoriya. Today, you protected everyone. Izuku smiled back. We all did. Far above the battlefield, one final emerald puppet string briefly shimmered against the night sky. Then quietly disappeared. The system displayed one last notification before fading away. Final evolution available. Designation. The puppet. The Battle of Kamino had ended. All for One was defeated. The League of Villains retreated into the shadows. Emergency crews flooded the ruined streets. Sirens gradually became quieter. The smoke above the city slowly disappeared. For the first time in hours, Kamino was peaceful. Television stations across Japan replayed the final battle. Every screen showed the same unforgettable moment. The fusion animatronic. All Might's final United States smash. The fall of the Demon King. Inside hospitals. Injured heroes watched the broadcast. Children smiled. Citizens applauded. Hope slowly returned. 3 days later, a nationwide ceremony was held in Musudafu. Heroes, students, government officials, journalists, everyone gathered together. Principal Nezu stepped onto the stage. Today, we honor every hero who protected Japan. Applause echoed throughout the hall. All Might slowly approached the microphone. His muscular form faded. Steam drifted upward. Within seconds, he returned to his thin body. Everyone. He smiled warmly. I have officially retired. Silence filled the hall. The next generation is ready. Thunderous applause erupted. Among the students, Izuku quietly stood beside Class 1A. Bakugo crossed his arms. Don't start crying. Izuku laughed softly. I'm not. After the ceremony, reporters immediately surrounded several students. Microphones reached toward Izuku. Midoriya, what should the public call you? Your hero name. Izuku blinked. I haven't decided. Before he could continue, the Emerald system suddenly activated. Final synchronization complete. New entity available. The puppet. Green remnant quietly spread around him. Womb. Everyone stepped backward. Another summon. Tiny emerald strings slowly descended from the sky. They gently touched the ground. A slender figure appeared beneath them. Black clothing. White mask. Purple tear markings beneath glowing eyes. Long graceful arms. The puppet. Marionette. The mysterious animatronic quietly walked toward Izuku. Every step was silent. Instead of standing beside him, the puppet gently placed one hand over Izuku's chest. Green remnant flowed between them. Womb. The Emerald system displayed its final evolution. Guardian synchronization. Complete. Instead of creating fear, warm emerald light expanded across the entire plaza. Injured heroes suddenly felt lighter. Their exhaustion slowly disappeared. Small wounds quietly healed. Broken equipment repaired itself beneath thin emerald strings. The audience stared in complete silence. Recovery girl slowly examined one injured hero. His injuries. Their healing. The puppet calmly looked toward several frightened children nearby. It gently waved one hand. Tiny emerald puppets began dancing through the air. The children immediately laughed. Their fear disappeared. Izuku smiled. So, you're not only here to fight. The puppet quietly nodded. Protect. Guide. Never abandon. The emerald strings slowly surrounded every member of Class 1A. Whenever one student stumbled, the strings gently supported them. Whenever someone became frightened, the puppet quietly calmed them. Ochako smiled. It's beautiful. Kirishima laughed. That's incredibly heroic. Mina watched the floating emerald puppets. They're adorable. Even Bakugo quietly looked away. Tick. Not bad. President Mike suddenly grabbed a microphone. All right. The entire country is watching. Tell everyone your hero name. Thousands of cameras immediately focused on Izuku. He looked toward the puppet beside him. The animatronic quietly nodded. Izuku smiled. My hero name. The Fazbear hero. He gently placed one hand over his heart. Marionette. The audience exploded into applause. Marionette. The Fazbear hero. What a perfect name. High above the city, the emerald strings stretched across the evening sky like gentle stars. Freddy. Bonnie. Chica. Foxy. Golden Freddy. Springtrap. Shadow Freddy. Shadow Bonnie. The Nightmare Animatronics. The Glamrock Animatronics. The Funtime Animatronics. And the puppet. Every summoned companion quietly appeared one final time. They stood together behind Izuku. A silent family of guardians. The Emerald system displayed its last message. Fazbear Summon System. User. Izuku Midoriya. Hero name. The Fazbear Hero. Marionette. Summon Collection. 100%. Fusion Mastery. Complete. Guardian Protocol. Permanently active. Mission. Protect the innocent. Status. Online forever. Izuku looked toward the peaceful city. Children laughed in the streets. Heroes resumed their patrols. The puppet quietly stood beside him while emerald strings drifted peacefully through the evening breeze. Together, they disappeared across the rooftops as Musudafu welcomed a new guardian of the night.